Yep.
You can see this one.
They are seeing the same thing.
There you go.
All right, cool. Now, I'm just going over this tiny little bit here because this is... hold on, I didn't want it to do that. Anyway, all right. So, as I described this in the previous presentation on what we're actually seeing and how when something comes up over the horizon, the people are seeing the exact same thing as what's going on the opposite side of the horizon. Well, randomly the other day when one of my cameras was pointing at Brighton Jetty, I captured this. We have this little sailing boat coming along, and what do we notice about as the sailing boat comes closer and closer to us? Notice where it is on the horizon in relation to the horizon. You see the horizon getting higher and higher and higher on the sail as it gets closer and closer and closer to us. Now let's just imagine, what are they seeing from the other side? What are they seeing from the other side of that jetty, right? So
like the exact opposite.
The exact opposite, right? So this is what it looked like before that, as it cruised past on the opposite side of the horizon. Now, I can tell that because of those reef markers there, they are 5.5 miles away. And if we go back to this one, we can see that the buoy is there, so that when this gets to here, it blocks that marker channel, like that reef marker. So we know that that boat there is in between 3.6 to 5.5 miles away. And clearly there is no curvature at that distance on their model. So as it cruised by, then 30 minutes later, it came past. And we see it get lower and lower and lower. And we notice how that the sail in relation to the horizon is getting lower and lower and lower. Like looking from the other side, I reckon around this point, that's probably about where it was. Because we have to remember that for me, if all conditions being equal, for them on the other side, their horizon would be about 3.6 miles away as well. So now that this boat here is much closer to me, it's probably closer to about 6 miles away from the other jetty. As it gets closer and closer and closer to me, we see it get more and more of that sail hidden by the horizon. Now what I've done is I just added a little bit extra because it went off screen there, and I just added like a little bit extra as if it was still coming a little bit closer, and it would eventually basically been so that the sail would have been completely hidden by the horizon. So now what I've done is just chuck some water over the top of it, and as it comes towards me, you see that the sail is getting hidden by the horizon. So then I've just done that of the boat, and we can clearly see the horizon getting higher in relation to the sail. We add the water again, and we see the sail disappearing. But obviously, because this is coming towards me, the sail's getting larger. If this was the other way around, the sail would obviously be getting smaller as it went away. So this would be a tip. And on this day, because it's an inferior mirage as well, it would have disappeared well before it got to that tip. So when it started, have a look, and the sail was 180 pixels, thereabouts. I didn't position that properly because I hadn't I just did this. And then the other sail is closer to well over 200. Closer to 229 pixels. As it's getting closer, clearly it's getting larger. Now, if it was on the other side, as we know, it would be getting smaller. That's just a little picture of how everyone looked. Sorry, I just skipped through this. I just made a few little GIF things, and then now up here, I just made this little one up. Boats don't go over a curve. It's all just a matter of perspective. And,
I like it.
Then we have this one here. I was trying to look for something where it was a boat, because I don't have anything of a sailing boat actually fully going away. And this one I found from Red's Rhetoric, and even though he's being a tool on his comments, I'll still give him a thing at Red's Rhetoric there. That's his channel. If I'm sharing something of his, it's probably the right thing to do. Now, he showed this clearly claiming that it's going over the curve of the Earth, but what we're seeing here is an inferior mirage. So I've actually asked him on his comment section, well, tell me what an inferior mirage does to the horizon 100% of the time, Reds, and told him that he's just introduced a reification fallacy here. And rather than answering me, he goes, define the reification. He doesn't really want to answer the question because I know he can't answer the question.
Is that the horizon in the background?
In the background?
Behind the boat? No, I'm just seeing stuff.
Yeah, horizon is in front. We can just see that it's clearly an inferior mirage. And then Travis from The Plain Truth did a video on this as well. He must have been on a call just before that, and it's pretty funny because he comments, he goes, look, Sly, this is an inferior mirage. Your analysis is bad. So it's just it's going to add to my because I'm making a video called Sly Can't Infer Mirage, and this is 4 years ago, and he still can't infer Mirage 4 years later. So I've asked Travis if he can find that conversation was recorded, because that would be fantastic to have that recorded and to show that this guy can't identify an infer Mirage. But yeah, so then this one's going away. So then what I've done is just sort of I removed all the background, made a little PNG of that boat, and we can see that boat, as it's going away, is getting smaller, right? Until eventually it's the sails, we only see that much of the sail, but it's behind an inferior mirage. So as we just showed, if this was the boat before the horizon, it would have been doing that. We would have seen the boat below the horizon, and we would have seen, probably the sail. Obviously, we would have seen the sail well below the horizon, just as I demonstrated. Now, apparently, they did a blink test or whatever, where they put Travis was saying that, like they put the sailing boat there, and then did a blink test trying to say, like, oh, look at how much of the boat's underwater. But yeah, so as we can see, we just go back to the GIF that I'm going to make, that the boats are not going over the curve. They're literally doing the same thing on the same side of the horizon for us. So when something comes towards us, it's doing exactly the same thing that it does when it goes beyond the horizon. Yeah, that's it. All I got. I'm making a video of this right now. I just wanted to thought I'd come on and just show everyone that.
It was a preview. I appreciate the hell out of it. That's awesome, man.
It is awesome.
Yeah, so it's just it's almost like the creator giving me a gift. I start talking about this, and then all of a sudden there's this image of exactly what I've been saying coming straight to me just a few days later.
Isn't that wild how that works?
Yeah, something's going on there. It's like, here's the gift. Take that.
Yeah, you can add, you were probably asking for it, like maybe not openly or anything like that, but it was something that you really wanted. You know how I bet so many people get what they're asking for or what they want, but they don't seize it, and they don't use it. It'll come and go, and then it's just, that's it.
Yeah, I agree. And so now after this, what I'm actually thinking of doing is heading down to my local marina or sailing boat club and just offering someone some money and saying, hey, look, do you mind doing something with me? If I give you like a few $100s, and the next time you're going to take your boat out anyway, do you mind going past Grange Jetty, head down towards Hallett Cove? We can be in contact with each other. As soon as you get to the horizon, let's do GPS so we know exactly how far you are. And then can you turn towards Port Noarlunga and just go towards Port Noarlunga, and I'll just film it and take photos of it the entire way until they disappear. And then I'll get sort of like readings from them as they move away. And I'll do that before they get to the horizon as well. So that way we can watch them go closer to the horizon. And then as they come back, I'll film them again. I'll continually film them the whole way. So I'll get it going all the way out and then all the way back. Pretty sure someone will do it. I mean, if they're taking their boat out anyway, what's the difference?
Yeah, I'm sure they would.
Yeah,
that's a great idea, man.
Yeah, and that way then I'll be able to get GPS readings as well on exactly how far away they are.
Mm-hmm. Awesome,
yeah,
man.
that's my little share, and I just figured I might just sort of show that, because it pretty much backs exactly what I was saying about what's actually going on. So as far as I'm concerned, it's confirmation. It's not confirmation bias, it's just confirmation.
Mm-hmm.
I can stop sharing now. Where do I get to that again? I'll be down here.
It's probably to the right over there somewhere, and then you may have to confirm stop sharing actually once you hit it the first time.
Yeah, it always makes us confirm.
There we go. All right, back to you guys.